If we desire, and we do desire, even if we don't know that we do, we do. If we desire to understand our universe, this amazing, incredible, beautiful universe, we have to think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That, doesn't it? It sounds like some pretty yogic shit right there. And it is, but that's not where it comes from. Nikola Tesla said that. Tesla. I don't know if he was a yogi or not, but he understood what the yogis understood and still understand, the real ones at least, still understand that the nature of our reality is vibratory. It's not physical. Nothing is physical. Some of our vibratory reality vibrates at a very slow frequency, giving the appearance of solidity, of material form to our very, very limited five senses. But that doesn't make it reality. That just makes it a perceptual error, because our five senses take in less than 1% of the full spectrum of information that's available in any given moment. Less than 1%. So, if we don't know how to activate our higher senses, we're fucked. We're not going to be able to understand that we live in an ocean of energy, an ocean of power, an ocean of intelligence, an ocean of healing potential. We're going to miss all that good stuff. Tesla was he did demonstrate this. He demonstrated the reality of free energy, that if we know how to harness it, we can extract energy direct from the ether and use that energy to empower things, to switch them on, to light them up. Free energy has been around for a long time, but you can't tax it. You can't control it. You can't charge for it. That's why it's called free energy. That's exactly why we don't have access to it. It's for those reasons. But it's there. It's real. The yogis also demonstrated this in their own way. Instead of using physical equipment, physical technology to extract the etheric energy, they use their kriyas, their mudras, and their mantras to extract energy from the ether to charge up this appliance, the human appliance, to charge up these batteries. That's what the chakras are. They're energy storage devices. But we miss all that good stuff if we aren't sensitive to energy. In yoga, they call it pranasamvedana. It's a good word, pranasamvedana. Sensitivity to the subtle world. If we don't have that, there's a multitude of problems that stem from that. One of the things is we don't have access to our intuition. Our intuition is our higher senses. There's subdivisions within our intuition, clairvoyance, clairaudience, inner taste, inner direction. There's a lot of subdivisions, but in a broader sense, it's intuition. That's the higher senses. Now, if we don't have access to that and we're only able to process less than 1%, guess what? We will believe absolutely any drivel coming from the mouth of these fake scientists and fake doctors and fake gurus. We'll just take it as truth because we won't have access to our own capacity to feel truth at the subtle level. We'll become slaves if we don't have access to our own inner guru, our own inner teacher, our own inner guide, and if we don't speak the original language, which is the language of energy, frequency, and vibration, we'll fall for anything. Trust the science. Trust the science. I trust myself and I trust my intuition. I don't care what the experts say. That's the value. That's the value of what Tesla said. You got to understand everything in the universe. You got to understand frequency. You got to understand the vibe. You got to have a capacity to feel it. vibration, energy, intuition, frequency. This is the original language. Sanskrit is an amazing language, by the way. Sanskrit is the best of a bad bunch. Let's put it like that. It's the best of a bad bunch because Sanskrit, amazingly, is not an arbitrary language. The characters of Sanskrit are derived from the sounds of your chakras. More specifically, the petals, which are actually nadis surrounding your chakras. Those frequencies were converted or extracted from inside of us and made into a language. It's brilliant, but it's still the best of a bad bunch because it's not the original language. It's not the language of intuition. It's not the language of clairvoyance and clairaudience and being able to sense energy directly and communicate information mind to mind. This is what the yogi said, that in Satya Yuga, that enlightened time, there was no need for vocal language because everything was communicated and understood directly. There's no need for chit-chat. The Bible says something very similar. It talks about, in Genesis, the Tower of Babel, the Babylonians. The Babylonians, led by the demonic king Nimrod, they understood the original language. They understood the energy world. However, when energy and self-empowerment through accessing the energetic kingdom is not coupled with a deep reverence and connection to God, it corrupts. Power corrupts, and that's what happened in Babylon with the Tower of Babel. Nimrod and the others built the Tower of Babel as a monument to themselves and their own greatness and to rival God. We too can position ourselves in the heaven and look down and rule over the masses because we are equal to God. God didn't like that very much, so he fucked them up royally, smashed that tower to the ground, as he bloody should. And he came down and he said, right, if this is the deal, if this is what you're going to do with your sensitivity to the energy world, prana samvedana in Sanskrit, if this is what you're going to do, if this is how you're going to abuse this amazing faculty, this higher sensory, intuitive faculty that I've given you, I'm going to come down, put a blanket, a tamasic blanket, Maya over your minds and force you to speak vocal languages. And that's where we get Sanskrit. That's where we get Arabic. That's where we get Latin and later on English and all the other subdivisions of language. God said, I will come down and I will take away that original language and force you to speak different languages so you cannot understand yourselves, so you don't do any dumbass things again, like build this Tower of Babel. And that's where we are today, with this blanket of tamas over our minds, this sheath, this maya, this confusion and delusion. But there is a way back to our original design, which is to be intuitive beings, to be able to connect in with and dialogue with, converse with the entire universe, which is energy. To be able to read the signs and symbols in nature and pick up the memos placed down by consciousness in number plates, in clouds, and all the other places. The poetic places through which consciousness tries to communicate with us, but we don't get the memo, we don't pick it up because we don't speak the language anymore, do we? But there's a way. The yogis provided a way. Time-tested, systematic methodologies to awaken our higher senses.